Devoted to improving the safety and security of the nation, government carried out a number of measures and approved several pieces of legislation within the 2013-2014 legislative year. Disrupting criminal activities, preventing future outspread of organized gangs, and getting all on board to unite for change. This was the threefold strategy employed by the National Security Ministry in the fight against crime from April 2013 to March 2014. Operation Resilience, launched in October 2013, helped to create major dents in criminal activity. By December, 346 anti-gang operations were conducted, 361 arrests made, and 201 firearms seized. These and other initiatives led to an overall downward trend in murders, with the January to March 2014 quarter recording a 12% reduction. This sparked confidence in the government's approach to achieving a safe and secure environment.
We're not going to relent because we realize that this is a strategically important element of the fight against crime.
Further results came as the Area 1 Police Division announced the dismantling of the notorious Alma gang, which was responsible for murders, shootings, robberies, rape, and extortion in the parishes of Westmoreland and Hanover.
This gang was successfully dismantled when 13 members, which were most active and influential, were either arrested and charged with crimes or shot and killed during confrontations with the police.
The National Security Ministry kept up the pressure on other criminal outfits by better equipping the security forces, adding 146 vehicles to the JCF's fleet, hiring more than 214 new recruits, and upgrading stations and opening new security posts in communities. 19 cameras were also strategically placed across the city of Montego Bay.
It will improve our detection, and because these cameras are being monitored 24/7, so we will be able to identify crimes in progress and dispatch teams to address that.
The $55 million technology system has been helping the police keep the streets of the second city safe and secure for both citizens and visitors alike. And pressing forward, the government went after lottery scammers, seizing the assets derived from proceeds of the crime and arresting more than 100 scammers. Our ports of entry were not left exposed in the efforts to improve security and safety. The Norman Manley International Airport received reinforcement with the expansion and renovation of the police station. Marine vessels were deployed to monitor our waters, with a new marine post being constructed at the Causeway Fishing Village. Cruise shipping pairs in resort areas were also streamlined to regulate and limit access to the ports and to stem the harassment of tourists. The legislative portfolio was also strengthened to help crime-fighting efforts. 3 key pieces of legislation were passed. The Criminal Justice Suppression of Criminal Organizations Bill, also known as the Anti-Gang Bill, received Parliament's approval on March 7, 2014.
It prohibits criminal organizations, which includes gangs, which are assembled for the purpose of committing serious violent crimes and intimidating communities.
The bill will make it less attractive for gangs to recruit members by increasing the penalties to 25 years imprisonment for recruiting children and 20 years for adults. The Proceeds of Crime Bill, passed in October 2013, lessens the ability of criminal organizations to finance their operations and strengthens the country's anti-money laundering framework. The Prevention and Suppression of Trafficking in Persons Act was also passed, and between April last year and March this year, more than 20 victims were rescued by the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Unit.
The TIP unit has a total of 7 cases before the courts in Jamaica. There are 28 cases that are currently under investigation, 4 of which involve transnational investigations.
Education, skills training, and dispute resolution were some of the other mediums used by the National Security Ministry. With $55 million in funding from the Inter-American Development Bank, the Citizen Security and Justice Program CSJP-3 is continuing the training of at-risk youth to provide employment. The aim is to recruit these individuals into a positive direction before they are recruited by gangs.
No matter how efficient you are at taking out players, sentencing players, putting them in prison, if you have an endless supply from a farm system, from an incubator, that's just generating more recruits for gangs, then we'll be on a treadmill indefinitely.
This level of social intervention continued with the launch of the Unite for Change campaign on December 5. Citizens were mobilized through the Public Education and Behavior Change Program to take a stand against crime by not facilitating such activities, reporting, and by working closely with the police. To provide a vehicle for that, the Ministry of National Security has been collaborating with the Peace Management Initiative, JCF's Community Safety Branch, and the Umbrella Group of Churches to organize a series of interventions in violence-prone communities.
Until a community decides that enough is enough, we don't want any more of our children murdered. We don't want our children recruited into gangs to increase their risk of either being killed by gangs or ending up in prison. Until we as a community make that decision, and wider communities across Jamaica, then we won't have a sustainable solution to the crime problem.
Schools were also targeted to encourage youngsters into becoming ambassadors for change. A National Youth Violence Prevention Forum was launched in January 2014, engaging over 1,000 persons to share best practices on how to prevent young people and the society at large from getting involved in crime.
Your presence here signals your commitment to being a part of the Unite for Change initiative, which seeks to catalyze action around breaking the cycle of violence in our society.
These are only a few of the measures undertaken by the government and the security forces in the last legislative year to bring about a safer Jamaica for all. The work continues and it needs all hands on deck.